Shalom, y'all, Bashim Yal Shabakata, y'all, Shemarathan, Bashim Yal Shah. It's preaching officer 500 Mathumya at I.S.U.P.K. Star out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. We've been teaching the truth about the Bible since 1969, the truth being that blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are God's chosen people according to the Bible. You understand? We're going to keep preaching that, teaching that truth till Christ's return. You know what I mean? And, we got to look at the times we're in today. If you look at everything that's going on now, you see in the news, you see everywhere on your, on your phones and all that, social media, whatever have you, you know what I'm saying? You will understand if you're a man of wisdom or a woman of, some kind of wisdom, you will see that, we are at the end. We at the end, and now is not the time to play around with your position where you trying to get right with the Most High, all those things right there. You know what I mean? We just had a glorious camp in Philly this past week. You know what I mean? And we, if you look at the spirit on brothers and sisters around the area, or just on the suburban area, I'm just like the urban areas, basically the hoods, in around the area, you see our people is in need of, a strong leader. And that's what Commander General YAHANNA provides for, all Black and Latinos and Native American Indians all over the globe. You understand? And another thing is, we have to understand these are the times of the end. The times of the end is right now, and we must take it serious. You understand what Christ said in the scriptures, talking about the end times, and his men asked him, when would be the signs of your coming, your return? You know what I mean? I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it real quick. Y'all can meet me there too at I'm gonna read in the book of Mark. All right. I'm reading the book of Mark. So Mark chapter 13, 13 verse 7. All right. Now I'm gonna push up to verse. I'm gonna move up to verse 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, tell us, when shall these things be? And when shall when shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled? Verse 5. And Jesus answering them began to say, take heed lest any man deceive you. Verse 6. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. So this is what will happen. One of the things that our king said would happen is a lot of people gonna come around saying that they Christ. You know what I mean? You look at these preachers today, I mean, my God, they all claiming that they got the Holy Spirit, that their congregation got the Holy Spirit, that everybody in their congregation is following God, that everybody in there is following God to the T. You know what I mean? They think they know the Bible and all that stuff, right? But we could tell that they are, the opposite, the total opposite. They don't know the Bible, and they have homosexuals. I don't even want to say half. They are full blown LGBTQ sodomites in there. You know what I mean? Don't know the scriptures, and they claiming that they know God and that they got the Holy Spirit. That's when it say right here, and that's what Christ's talking about. It says, verse 6, it says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Now, another thing too, these fake Israelite groups, they do the same thing. They got the same issues and the same problems that the church has, because they are the same. They one and the same. You understand? They both got problems and issues with sodomy. You understand? They bunch of flaming, you know what's, you know what I mean? And they abuse, and they abuse their people that they even congregate with. You understand? Don't know how to lead people. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. That's all them, fake Israelites, Christian preachers. You understand? Let's read on. Verse 7, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. You understand? It says, for the end shall not be yet. You know what I mean? But the end shall not be yet. Let me see this slide. Yeah, so what has to happen is, you know what I mean, we have to, let me see. It says, so these things have to happen. These things must happen. These things has to happen. You know what I mean? And he about to go over some more. Let's get some more. It says verse 8, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. Now, these things have to happen. You know what I mean? Thailand, they always getting earthquakes over there. We just had we had a pretty serious earthquake last year. You know what I mean? In Jersey, you know, the whole tri-state area, Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, you understand, Philadelphia, you know what I mean? That area over there in PA, where you understand we had the earthquakes in diverse places already. We having it today. You understand? These are the things that's happening right now. Let's get some more. It says, let me see, boom, boom, boom. These are the beginnings of sorrow. Verse 9. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. All right, let me skip down some more. What I really want to get to, because we see what's going on in the news. You got you know what I mean, Michael Jordan out there getting caught in 4K, touching little kids and all that, touching a poor little boy. You know what I mean? And we seen what's going on with Epstein. We already, it's old news about what, you know, TD Jakes and Kirk Franklin, all them what they've been doing. It's you know, being brought out about how these top major figures, these powerful figures, are now being brought down, and being exposed for everything. And now that is a precept in us, like that's a prophecy for what is said in the Bible, and we're about to read it. All right, let me see. We'll go to verse. Bear with me a second. Bring it over here. I'm gonna go to verse 25. And the stars of heaven shall fall. The stars of heaven shall fall, meaning all the not the literal ball of gas that's in outer space. Not talking about that. It's talking about, you know what I mean, the you know, the superstars here in America. You know what I mean, all the top figures, all the people that got their signs on the pavement in Hollywood. You know what I mean? It says all them stars are going to come down. That's what it's talking about. And then one of them stars recently, Michael Jordan, was on video fondling a little boy. You understand? And it's crazy to me, you know what I mean? But this is a prophecy about what was going to happen. You know what I mean? Not just him, it's a lot of these people getting exposed for, you know, different things. And Tyler Perry, about what about like I can't remember how long it was, but it had to be sometime late last year, where he got exposed in text messages, like basically talking um inappropriately with his co-work, well, with people that he hired to act in his movies. You understand? And it was a man too. It was a man he was talking to. So not only was he verbally sexually harassing people, but he was talking to a man. You know what I mean? These people are wicked and disgusting. That's above us. These people that are in power, and these people that have, you know, been put in, you know, certain power places, you know what I mean, above us in this society, are only there because of money. They're only there because, you know, our oppressor is in power right now, and he controls everything. You know what I mean? So just so they can have a false sense of success and notoriety, they will bend over and do whatever the master says. They will do whatever he says, you know what I mean, no matter how vile and disgusting it is, no matter what you got to do on that casting couch, you know what I mean, no matter what you got to do in Hollywood and all that, no matter what it is, they going to still go ahead and comply to what is being told to them by these by these devils up there. They'll do it because they don't care and they don't have that in a bone that an integrity bone in their body. They don't have any of that. You understand? That's why they're not fit to they're not fit to lead. They're not fit to lead a people. You know what I mean? Any man that can't control himself, I mean, my goodness, you can't control yourself. How you gonna control a congregate? How you gonna control a nation of people? You can't control yourself. So how you gonna control a nation of people? You know what I mean? That's why the Lord put the I.S.U.P.K in place. And y'all right there, y'all just in the way, and the Lord gonna wipe you out. You understand? Most High Christ, Shalom, Shalom. Y'all Bashim Shabbat, Priest and Officer Karala come. You understand? From out of be more. What's going on, Most High Christ? The water for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about these sodomites, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? These sodomites are in these churches, these big churches and all that, and they, want to act like they, fit to lead people. You can't even lead your own emotions. You can't control yourself. You can't control your household. You can't do anything. So how you gonna control a people? How you gonna control the Lord's lost sheep? You understand? That's what we're here for. That's what the I.S.U.P.K is here for, and no one else. You understand? Goes for these fake Israelite groups as well. Fake Israelite groups out there claiming and acting like and posturing like, what I'm saying, they're the ones that our people should follow. When the same thing that's being said about the church can be said about you. We know all too well about Nasty Nate and all the things he do. You know what I mean? And all the things he has his people in there doing, has his sisters in there doing, and the sisters out over here confessing and talking about what y'all got going on in there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, just leave this alone and let the prophets of the Most High, do our job and control and protect and feed our nation. You understand? Because right now, just in the way it says, and I'm in a book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 25, for anybody that might not know. All right. It says, and the stars of heaven shall fall. That's Michael Jordan. That's T.D. Jakes. That's Kurt Franklin. You know what I mean? Eddie Long. You understand? Hell, who just passed away today? Who just passed away? Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson. You know what I mean? They've fallen. They're falling because these black leaders claim to, so-called black leaders, they posturing like they, for us. They've been trying to act like they speaking up for us and everything like that. I ain't hear Jesse Jackson say nothing about George Foreman, George Floyd. You understand? I ain't hear him say nothing about that. I ain't hear him say anything about Sonya Massey. I ain't hear him speak out against that. I ain't hear him speak out against all the unlawful unalivings that the police departments across this country is committing against us. I ain't hear him say anything about that. But they are living good. That's what they got going on for themselves. Al Sharpton, I ain't hear nothing about him. What he ain't. I ain't hear nothing for the past, I don't know how long, of him saying anything on our behalf. You understand? And that really means something. These leaders, they what they got to show for themselves is that they living good, that they doing well for themselves. They, they dressing, they got the nice suits and all that garbage, right? They looking real spiffy, but they cannot do this work. You understand? Commander YAHANNA brought out one time, I think it was about like a month ago. He was saying, a shepherd is not going to look clean. A shepherd, a good shepherd is not going to be clean and look neat and all that stuff. He's going to be looking gritty because he's in the work. He's, you know what I mean, doing the work, doing the job. He's leading these sheep, making sure they safe, making sure they fed, taking care of them, you know what I mean, grooming them, you know what I mean, all that stuff you got to do for sheep, you know what I mean, to, you know, be a good shepherd. These people that's over us now do not fit that image. They don't fit that image. They can never fit that image because they not really shepherds. They wolves in sheep clothing, like the scriptures talk about. You understand? And we all know what the Most High said about them. You know what I mean? Said about them pastors. You know what I mean? The black leaders. Woe unto them. For they, you know what I mean? Let's get that real quick. I'm gonna get it real quick. Y'all can meet me at Book of Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. All right, it says, "Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord." The Lord is not playing. The Lord is not playing. That's why Reverend Jesse Jackson got alive. Passed away today. He's not here no more. You know what I mean? They could have. He had a long life of, you know what I mean, posturing like he's for us when he wasn't. You know what I mean? Same with Dr. He wasn't even a doctor, Michael King, because that's his real name, but everybody know him as Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Same with him, you know what I mean? That's it. And Jesse Jackson was his protege, so to speak, right? Protege, Salaki was his protege, trying to follow after Martin Luther King footsteps and all that. But you know what I mean, he did exactly what his predecessor was doing. You know what I mean? Because what was MLK doing? He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing actually. He did a lot actually, but it wasn't for our benefit. It was to our detriment actually. You understand? What he did was separated us from our homes basically. Like he made it so where we don't have our businesses anymore. We don't have any of our businesses, but these others like the Asians and these other, you know what I mean, people, these Italians and Irish and all that, take our businesses and take our stores. You know what I mean? And we don't have anything left. You know what I mean? We don't have anything left. We all ended up being tired and broke in Washington D.C. because a lot of us, you know what I mean, migrated from out of down south. You know what I mean, to go walk to on feet. You know what I mean, go to Washington D.C. to see him give that you know what I mean, that terrible speech that broke us up. You know what I'm saying? It destroyed us utterly. You know what I'm saying? Beyond belief, to the point where we don't want to see logic anymore. We don't want to see what makes sense. We don't want to hear what makes sense. We want to hear smooth things, what we think is smooth things. We don't want to face the harsh realities of what's taking place here in America. We don't want to hear the things we need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to hear, nah, go ahead, praise Jesus, go to church, go to church. He love you for everything you doing. You know what I mean? He loves you and he forgives. He's an all forgiving God. He's an all loving God, no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? Those are things we want to hear. We think that's those are pleasing and kind, sweet things to hear. But you don't want to hear that the Lord is gonna, you know what I mean, do something crazy. He's gonna unalive our oppressors for what they did to us. You don't want to hear that he's going to, you know what I'm saying, deal with us if we don't get right. You know what I mean? You don't want to hear that the Lord hates the sin and the sinner. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that because your pastor never showed you that. It was never his intent to make you a better human being when you went inside that church. It was never his best intent. It's like intentions for you to really change your life and shed yourself of this world. When you got into that church, that was never there. You know what I mean? His intentions was to possibly sleep with you, possibly, you know what I mean, get into damn sure get all your money that you can, you know, give to him. You understand? Everybody in that congregation take all their money and, you know, stuff it in their pockets and to sleep with your woman at the same time. You know what I mean? And maybe your children. That's what they That's their goal in the Christian church. It's not to make you better. If it was that, we would have. If it was their intentions to really make us better, the black community would be heaven right now. It would be it would be a paradise, right? Because the whole black community has Christianity in their hearts, and that's what they believe wholeheartedly. You understand? You either on the East Coast, at least, you either a Christian or you a Muslim. You know what I mean? It's either or. You know what I mean? Islam kind of dying out. Christianity is too, but you one or the other. You know what I'm saying? And if we was, but as a nation though, all over the country, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's damn near Christian. You know what I'm saying? If we was all really serious about changing and we learning from our pastor and he was really trying to change us, we wouldn't be, doing the things we're doing. We wouldn't have, all of our black women damn near piling up in abortion clinics, unaliving our babies. We wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have, millions black and Latino men piled up in the prisons. You understand, locked up behind chains. We wouldn't have that right now. You understand? It will be black men in all these black homes and Latino men in all these Latino homes. You understand? Raising up these families right. That's what would be taking place. But we don't have that, do we? We have a sodomite on a pulpit talking like he know God and what he, knows that what the Most High words is saying. You know what I mean? Trying to convince the people in this congregation that, he knows God and that you could just do whatever. Excuse me. You understand? That's what we have. We have a sodomite in the pulpit screaming, love God. That's what you have. That's what we have as a nation. That ain't gonna help us. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna help us at all. When the Most High said what it said right here, it said, "Woe be unto the pastors." What does the word "woe" mean? That's what we have to understand. That's why this precept, this scripture right here, is powerful. It's powerful because what does the word "woe" mean? W-O-E. That's how you spell it. Excuse me. What does the word "woe" mean? It means to destroy something. And why would the Lord want to destroy something? A God that, your pastor, your reverend will always say loves everybody. Why would he want to kill somebody? Why would he want to destroy something? Why would he want to do that when he loves everybody and loves everything? Has, no intentions of, laying out judgment nowhere. Why would that be? You know what I mean? It's because you just don't know the Bible. You know what I mean? And your congregation, everybody gonna recognize that you pastors don't really know the Bible. You don't know the Bible. That's why, we all over social media kicking the behinds of all you so-called preachers out there and exposing the fact that you don't know the precepts, don't know the Bible, don't know anything about it. You understand? Captain Desire, I go to I.S.U.P.K, most high in Christ for him. Thank the Lord for him. Commander YAHANNA and all the other generals, right? Because we all over social media whipping the behinds of all these pastors out here that claim they got some knowledge about the Bible. And whoever else think they got some knowledge about anything, we wiping the floor with every single last one of them. You know what I mean? Because the I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. And the only people that's authorized to teach these precepts, to teach this Bible. You understand? We the priests and prophets of the Lord in here. And we the ones that has the authority over, this Bible and teaching this Bible to our people. Not you sodomites in the church at all. You understand? That's one thing right there. I'm gonna get the book of Baruch, chapter 4. You know what I mean? Bear with me a second. You know what I mean? This Bible right here is gonna change your life. This will change your life, nothing else. Not that weed you smoking ain't gonna change your life in a positive way. Anyway, ain't gonna change your life. You know what I mean? You're gonna get a temporary little fix, and then you're gonna realize when it's too late that you done destroyed yourself. And in fact, it ain't never too late. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna be deep in a hole, and you're gonna have to fight to get out of that hole. You understand? And when you want to take it serious and you want to really fight, you got brothers and it's like you got brothers here in the UPK to stand with you in that fight. You ain't never got to do it alone. You understand? Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God. So this Bible I'm reading out of, this Bible that's in your church, this Bible that's in, you understand, your home, your grandmama's home with all the dust on it and all that, you know what I mean? Because you ain't never opened it up. You ain't never reading it. You know what I'm saying? This Bible, that same very Bible, that is the book of the commandments of God right there. That's the whole thing. That's the whole mystery of life for man, you know what I mean? For Black and Latino and Native American man, women, and children. We have to follow this Bible. We have to follow. That's our success right there. You understand? We think those the strength is in ourselves and our own flesh. You understand? Really, our win and our victories and our success come from the Most High. You understand? Come from the Most High. Come from the Lord. I'm gonna read right here. It says, "In the law that endure forever, all they that keep it shall come to life." Everyone that keeps these scriptures, keep these precepts, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, they will come to life. You will learn to live. You wouldn't, you know what I mean? You wouldn't get unalive by stray bullets, you know what I mean, that wasn't even meant for you, or bullets that are meant for you, and you in the crossfires of it, right? You know what I'm saying? You in a, you know what I mean, you catching all types of hell because, you know what I mean, you're not really digesting this book. You ain't really keeping these in your, you know, in your spirit, applying it to yourself. You understand? You ain't doing none of that. So this is what happens. This is what happens. You understand? Let's get some more. It says, but such as leave it shall die. Oh, so like, yeah, that's what it said. But such as leave it shall die. And that's why we have to keep it. So we can live. There ain't nothing more precious in life than living. Than living. And I know brothers out there think the life they living now is living. It's not. You understand? The life you living ain't living, bro. Ain't living. Not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gotta when you gotta destroy your own people that you even grew up with, you know what I mean, to make money. That ain't life. That ain't living. You understand? For you to feel right, you gotta get high first thing in the morning. That ain't living. That ain't living. I don't know, you know what I mean? I told you that. That ain't living. That ain't life and that ain't living. Living a life where you gotta look over your shoulder all the time. You understand? Because of the mischief that you possibly may or may not be doing, that ain't living. You know what I'm saying? That ain't living at all. You gotta worry about this and this and that. We know what we talking about. You know what I mean? That ain't living. You understand? Let's get some more. It says, Salaki, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Turn thee, O Jacob. When it say Jacob, is talking about the lost 12 tribes of Israel. It's talking about because Jacob is the progenitor of the lost 12 tribes. He's the progenitor of it, you know what I mean? He's the father of the lost 12 tribes. So when it's saying Jacob, you know what I mean, it's talking about us. Don't forget too. Also remember, like Jacob got his name changed to Israel, you know what I'm saying, in the Old Testament. It's another thing too. So, you know what I mean? When he's saying that, when they say turn thee, O Jacob, it's talking about the lost 12 tribes, Black, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Okay. And it says, and take hold of it, walk in the presence, it's like in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. When you start coming to class, start applying these things that you're hearing in these classes in your life. You understand? You know what I mean? Your brother out there, you know what I mean? You hear, man, stop. We got to stop unaliving one another. We got to stop selling drugs to one another. We got to stop, being, helping the white man do his job for him. You understand? He wants us to die. He wants us to perish. He don't want us to rise at all. But when we unaliving one another, we helping him out. Believe it or not, we helping him do his job. You understand? He don't want us to rise. He don't want us to, get right. He damn sure don't want us having brotherhood towards one another, preferring one another over our own, our own uh, preferences. You understand? He wants us to, look after one another and have love towards one another, but not envying one another. You know what I'm saying? Not, doing all those things, backstabbing each other and all that stuff, snaking each other out. Nah, he don't want that. The Most High don't want that. But the white man do. The white man do. That's why he bred it, into us, feeding us all that so-called gangster rap back in the 80s, you know what I'm saying, with NWA and all that, and having us learn to live a backwards lifestyle where, it destroys our neighborhoods, it destroys our communities. You understand? You think I'm BSing about the NWA stuff. You understand? If you go ahead and do the research, man, all them cats, all them dudes, man, the white man went and got out of college, out of school, and made them a gangster rap group. That's something y'all could look up. But like, that's what happened. You know what I mean? These are the things we gotta shun away. You know what I mean? Sister out there, you start coming to class, you learn not to, certain things you can't do, certain things you could do. Learn, how to be a better woman, how to, not, be so promiscuous, like, you see other women out here in the world being, you know what I mean? I know we got all you just open up Instagram for 1 second, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Learn how to be a woman of integrity. You understand, where you don't have to do certain things like other sisters in the world do to get attention. You know what I'm saying? You can use your brains, use your smarts, use your wits instead of, what other sisters in the world do, where they have to, exploit their body to get what they want. You know what I mean? There's better ways to do it. You know what I mean? That's why the best thing for you to do, you a brother or a sister, is start coming to class. Come to class in person, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you handle your business like that. It's cool watching online too, but coming in person, that's where you need to be. All right, but that's neither here nor there. I digress from that. Let me get some more. See if it's some more on this precept. It says that, yeah, I'm gonna read this last part real quick. It says, "Walk in the presence of light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated." Like what I was just saying about the sisters, right? Like, you going out there, you coming to class and you hearing what we saying, you like, all right, and you applying it throughout your week while you at work, while you at home, while you doing whatever you doing, on your own time, and taking it serious. You are becoming that light that shines before, the people that you out there amongst throughout the week on your own. You know what I'm saying? They seeing that you different, you changing. You're not the same, you're not quite the same person you was about a month ago or a week ago or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's where you start, that's where you're starting to see progress. When, people looking at you a little different. They're looking at you a little different, you starting to become unrecognizable to them. You know what I mean? That's why how you do that is, apply these things that you get from these classes to your life. Come to class. That's the thing too. You know what I'm saying? That's how you become that light that shines before everybody else. That's how you let your light shine. All right. That's what it's talking about when it says that thou mayest be illuminated. You know what I mean? That's where you want to be. Let me see. That's about it on that. You know what I mean? So we get it right now. So we get it. You know what I mean? We gotta, apply these things to our life, change. You understand? You understand this. You know what I mean? This is the only way out. while we in these last days, this is the only way out. Not being by yourself, not being alone. You understand? Thinking you could do this on your own. No, you need to be a part of a body. You need to be a part of this body, the I.S.U.P.K. I'm gonna read this precept. This is a precept we pull a lot. You know what I mean? The book of Romans, chapter 13 and 11. All right. Book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11, it reads, "In that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep." Now, this is the time right now to awake out of sleep. The times being right now is it's about to be complete hell in about 2 seconds. You understand? Donald Trump is over there. Donald Trump, the US and Iran are in peace talks right now. Well, let me scratch that. They in talks right now. They in nuclear talks, nuclear discussions, talking about, you know what I mean, they really don't want Iran with nuclear weapons. You know what I mean? So they over there talking, you know what I mean, about it now. That ain't gonna get nowhere. It's gonna turn bad. It's gonna turn bad. And why is it gonna turn bad? Why do I say that? It's because it's prophesied in the Bible. In the Bible, it says nuclear war is gonna happen. And World War III is bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? But what are we gonna be doing in the meantime? That's the thing. You understand? They over there doing that. You know what I mean? And I seen a video earlier where Iran basically shot some missiles in the let me see, in the sea over there, and let me see, in the straits, over there. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. You know what I mean? Iran just launched some missiles over there in the Straits of Tamu. You know what I mean? They just launched some missiles over there. That's what I seen earlier. You know what I mean? This is not going to get good. It's not going to get good. It's not going to, it's not going to get good anytime soon. You understand? Let me see if I can find it. I could play the video maybe. Yeah. Also, like I said, Tamu. Yeah, Iran fired missiles into the Strait of Hormuz. All right, that's what they did earlier. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of them having talks, nuclear war, nuclear, weapon discussions with Donald Trump in the USA. You know what I'm saying? Which is to show you the times we're in right now is very serious. Things are going to get bad. I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, electricity is going to be out. We're going to need, in that time, you're going to need what? You're going to need brotherhood in that time. In that time where everything is going left, you're going to need a community. You're going to really need a nation. And the Lord is going to force us to lean on one another. He's going to force us to lean on one another and not to hate one another. That's where we're going to get into the zone where all that hate, all that unnecessary hate for one another is going to be thrown out the window. All you so-called, dumb blackity black dude, Negro out there talking about the Latinos aren't our brothers, they're gonna be the one of some of our biggest help, in that time, in that day. You understand? Right now, the Lord wants us to come together. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna paraphrase it right now. The Lord wants us to come together. You understand? Because we are a nation that's greatly despised. You know what I mean? We're a nation that's greatly despised by everybody. So when all hell breaks loose, when the wars, the civil wars and civil unrest take place in America, what the hell are we gonna do when everybody else is fending for themselves? The scriptures say that how each man is gonna go to their own. Paraphrasing, meaning these nations are going to lean on their own nation. They're gonna fall on their own. But what are we doing? Now we worrying about how we gonna, up the score and all that. We worrying about how we gonna up the score. We worrying about how we going, get back and all this stuff. Which is complete nonsense. Go to jail regretting all your decisions you made for the rest of your life. That ain't it. You understand? We have to understand the Lord wants us to come together. Black, Latinos, and Native American Indians and he's going to make that plainly known. You understand that we have to come together. Hell, he's doing it right now. He doing it right now where we seeing Epstein and all them eating children, eating children's flesh. You understand? If they don't give a damn about their own babies, do they give a damn about us? Like, do they give a damn at all about us? It's obvious they don't. It's obvious that they don't. You know what I mean? It's the Lord is making it plain to us. He's showing us. He's showing us all these secrets right now. All these secrets is coming out, and we, a lot of us are mind blown about it. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? In the meantime, while we seeing all this, something gotta click in our head that we must come together. You know what I mean? We must come together. I seen a video early this morning, about how in the Epstein files, how they was you know what I mean, they was planning on, not planning, they actually did it. They was hunting black people. They was hunting black people down. You know what I'm saying? They saying if I could play the video, man, I might get copyright though. I ain't gonna play it, but it's a video where they talking about how they want to hunt. They want to hunt us, you know what I mean? And talking about how good the hunting was and all that. You understand? That's what they did. This is what they do. And Lord knows what else they doing to us. Lord God, the Most High knows all the other things that they devise against us. So that's why it's all important that we come together and, you know what I mean, do the right thing. Where do you come together at? In the I.S.U.P.K under Command of YAHANNA. That's where you come together at. That's where you you know what I mean, come to learn your knowledge at. You want to learn something, you want to change for real. You know what I mean? You want to make a 180. You want to change. Come in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? Look up you know what I mean, I.S.U.P.K zone nearest you. Find a number, give us a call. You know what I mean? We all over the country, all over the globe. You understand? Overseas in the Caribbean, we over there in the island of Hispaniola, we over there, you know what I'm saying? Well, the Caribbean. We over there in the UK. We everywhere, man. We everywhere. Give us a call. Wherever you are at, you understand? Look us up. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, getting in these classes change your life and become a better person. You know what I mean? Be a better person that the Most High could be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Be honored by. All right? And our King to be honored by. All right, with that, man, I'm gonna end the class off right there. I'm just preaching Officer 500 Mathumya. You know what I mean? Check it about you know what I mean, checking out for this class, you know what I mean? With I.S.U.P.K started 1 West, started 125th Street Hall, New York, in the Commander General YAHANNA. We've been teaching the truth about the Bible since 1969. Truth being that the Black, Latinos, and Native American Indians are God's chosen people, and that the Most High is going to, you know, free us from this hellhole, man. He's going to free us and give us the justice that we deserve, that no other man is going to give us but the Most High. You understand? We leave it up to these devils to try to give us some justice. We ain't never going to get it. We ain't never going to get it. We just going to receive more pain. And you know what I mean? That's it. That's all we're going to know is pain, and more pain. All right? So that's why we're going to call on the Most High to give us some justice, to give us our justice. All right? With that, man, I'm going to say shalom. All right? Shalom. Y'all Bashim Shabakatah. Y'all Shamal Althun Bashim Yahusha.